Hello everyone, this is Highlander from MTG Cardsmith doing another custom Magic card review. Here we have a card by FireOfGolden, and I'm going to preface this review by talking a little bit about reference cards or cards that uh, are a reference to a character or IP or something outside of Magic. Um, First of all, the art doesn't bother me so much for cards like this, reference cards, because I mean, first of all, good luck finding Magic art that looks like this guy. But second of all, um, Wizards does. Uh, they've I can't remember what. I keep forgetting the names of these sets, but they've come out recently with some sets that involve other IPs. They did one for Walking Dead. They did one for Street Fighter. Um, so you know, this is certainly within the realm of possibility, right? I mean, if they this is an Undertale card. If you didn't know, Undertale is a video game. Um, so another thing I want to say about reference cards is you have to be careful with these, and what I mean by that is that when you create a reference card, you're you are potentially, well, let me say this a different way. When you create a reference card, your card needs to stand on its own as a Magic card. And the reason I say that is you can't necessarily you can't necessarily rely on the fact that the viewer gets the reference of the card you're making, right? So, for example, I have not actually played Undertale. I mean, Undertale is a very popular game, so I know of Undertale. I've seen art from Undertale. That's how I know that this is an Undertale card. Also, oh, I don't even know if I mentioned the author. This is from Fire of Golden. I can't remember if I said that or not. Um, but I know Fire of Golden. I think every card I've seen from him so far has been an Undertale card. So I mean that also helps me figure that out. Um, but if you're like me and you don't necessarily get the reference, then you have to make sure that your card still works as a Magic card and that the collection of abilities um, work together in a way that they would for a normal Magic card, and you're not just kind of like throwing a bunch of stuff on there that would make sense only if you got the reference. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let's actually review this card here. So this is Error the Error event. This is a 6-mana Jund legendary creature skeleton rogue who is an 0/6. He's got indestructible. Error has +1/+0 for each power counter on him, and pay six, well, 3 black, red, green, destroy target permanent, then put a power counter on Error. Okay, um, cool. So what I do like about this card is that it's simple. I am a big fan of simple cards. If you've been watching my videos, you probably have figured that out by now. Um, I I think that this is a reasonable card, power level wise. Well, let me actually retract that. So, uh, if this indestructible clause wasn't there, I think this is a reasonable card power level wise. If you haven't watched my review of Mika Warsinger, you should watch that because I I talk about the fact that um, very often I see designers, especially people who are designing commanders, put very powerful defensive abilities on their commanders. And I understand why, because when you play your commander, like when you build a commander deck, you build it around your commander, right? And you want your commander to live so that you can play with them, right? Um, but that being said, when you have a card that's very powerful, you shouldn't give it powerful defensive abilities. Um, because you want your opponent to be able to interact with your cards. You want because that'll allow your opponent to also have fun playing the game, not just you, right? This is kind of like you know, this is kind of like not sharing your toys in a way when you're little, right? You want your opponent to have fun playing with you, otherwise they won't play with you. Uh, so anyway, I talked about that at length in the Mika review, so please watch that. But I don't like indestructible here, so I'll just kind of say that up front. Um, the combination of these two abilities is cool. I like this. I wouldn't say it's the most unique. I've seen there have been other cards that do this type of a thing. Um, and I don't mind. I mean, 6 mana to destroy a permanent, like repeatable. I mean, that's quite powerful, but I think that cost-wise, this seems totally fair. One other criticism I might give here is we're putting power counters on Air, and he gets +1/+0 for each power counter on him. I think this might work a little better if Air had lower stats. Or I shouldn't say lower, different stats. So, for example, let's say that Air was a 4/4. Okay, you play him as a 4/4. Not really that exciting for 6 mana Jund card, right? But like reasonable. And he didn't actually have this line of text, and instead this said 6 mana, destroy target permanent, then put a +1/+1 counter on Air. Right? So doing that actually eliminates this complexity. Now makes this a 1, assuming you get rid of indestructible. You know. Now you have a one ability card, which is great. Making your card simpler is actually a positive thing, by the way. It's not a negative thing. And now you're not dealing with like a new type of counter that people haven't seen before, because there is a cost to that as well, extra complexity, right? I think that would make this card a lot cleaner and would sort of accomplish a similar thing. Now, I'm going to assume that the reason you did it this way is for the reference purpose, right? But again, I have to review this as just a magic card, not as a reference card, because you have to make sure that your reference card is also a magic card, right? And as a magic card, I think that would make this card cleaner. I should read the flavor text. I am done with your game, psychotic squid. It is time for the universe to face their end. The universe says to face their end. Oh, that's pretty cool. I don't know who this squid is. Am I the squid? Yeah. So that's kind of the gist of For Air. I think this is a perfectly fine card. I think really my biggest gripe is the indestructible here. I think that's really holding this card back. But I think without that, I like the card. It's a perfectly reasonable card. Again, you could probably make this a little bit simpler, but even if you didn't, I think it's a fine Magic card. So I will give this one a 3 out of 5. And yeah, that's my review of the Error event. Thank you for watching.